Welcome back to KTSM 9 News today. So earlier in the news, we told you about a couple who was arrested after the man was driving while and pulled over for allegedly driving drunk. Now, we know that drunk driving is a problem in El Paso, but did you know that we have the highest percentage of alcohol-related crash fatalities? 61% of fatal crashes that happen in El Paso involve alcohol.
Yeah, for perspective, state and national average is about 38 to 40%.
Wow. Okay, yeah. So that's why El Paso Congresswoman Veronica Escobar was speaking out against an amendment that she said could limit Congress's ability to explore technology aimed at preventing drunk driving. So the Republican-backed amendment would prohibit federal agencies from researching technologies that could help prevent drunk driving. The amendment ultimately passed. However, Escobar said Congress should be keeping all options on the table. She said that impaired driving isn't just drunk driving, but also distracted and texted behind the wheel and drug impairment. And then she spoke about an organization made up of El Paso families who've lost loved ones, and that's called Sober Streets El Paso. She said there's a lot of work we have to do as members to create safer communities, and she wants to look at the menu of options, not do less.
Yeah.
So you looked up the technology.
Yeah, I looked up the amendment that she was referring to. I mean, and it's a lot of technical jargon, but what I could make out of this is that the lawmakers blocked it because they're worried the technology isn't ready yet.
Okay.
And that it might glitch, accidentally locking sober drivers out of their own cars.
Oh, okay.
They're also worried that the cameras and sensors needed for the system would spy on innocent people.
Right.
Right? As it is, you know, your car has a lot of information
Anyway,
that the companies sell, like to insurance companies. And so they're afraid that the biometrics and those kind of things could be hacked and, you know, used in bad ways.
You know, and I totally understand that because I'm all about, you know, privacy. I've turned off my cameras on my laptop. I try to make sure I limit how much camera usage can be used on my phone, on my smart TV, things like that.
Yeah.
But the problem here is that this was just looking at the technology. It wasn't
Right.
actually developing the technology.
Yeah.
You know, they were just looking at federal agencies possibly being able to use
Right.
the technology as it's being developed.
Yeah.
And I understand that
Yeah.
the privacy thing is the thing that freaks me out the most. Absolutely. But at the same time, what are we going to do about this? I mean, 61% of
Yeah.
fatalities in El Paso alone.
I honestly agree with Sober Streets. I think that the couple of things that we need to look at the most currently that we can do right now is to, first of all, lower the blood alcohol limit
Right.
from 8% to maybe from a 0.08 to a 0.05. And also the bonds. Everybody talks about how the bonds are so low for drunk driving.
Exactly.
And even when a fatality is involved,
Yeah.
you know, people seem to get out the next day.
Exactly.
And I think those couple of things could be dealt with a lot better and a lot easier than this
the
whole
technology.
technology, and which, you know, has a whole lot of other issues and problems
Sure.
and debates that could go on forever. But these two other things to me seem like they could be done more easily.
That's true.